threat of disaster is never pleasant.
Welcome to the Casual Preppers podcast.
These safety measures are essential.
The only place for prepping, survival, and entertainment.
This will be your source of survival instructions and information. Every member of the family must be coached in the business of survival.
Here are your hosts, Cam and Kobe.
Do not eat that Arby's. Don't do it.
Everybody loves the chewins.
We did that. That was a long time ago.
That was way long.
We had an episode where we were eating Arby's throughout the whole thing.
Everybody's like screaming, like,
Don't you ever do that again.
It would. I don't even know what we were thinking.
We would probably
because it is super annoying.
We'd be as big as Joe Rogan right now if we wouldn't have done that episode.
Yeah,
we probably lost every subscriber we ever had.
All of you are brand new, fresh.
Yeah,
that weren't originals.
It is, but that was good Arby's. I might do it again.
Yeah,
you know, Arby's is good sometimes.
It sure is.
Cameron, good to see you.
Yeah,
I hope everything is well.
Yeah,
in
good.
the ear, nose, throat game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anything
the EMP
new?
Clinic.
Anything new coming down the pipe that we need to know about in the whole ear game?
Maybe.
Throat? Maybe. Like monkey throat pox or something?
No.
Everything's
none of that
good
going on.
Okay.
Same old stuff.
Same old. Just ear infections and
Yep. Wax plugs.
Good.
Throat swellings.
Well, we're excited today because today is September 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what that
timing
means?
For
this
our
is
podcast to come out.
This is day one of Prepper Month.
Yeah.
I don't know what they
This
officially
is the
call it.
month of the year that we all come out.
Yeah.
Prove to the world
Yeah.
that we do what we do
It's
for
like
a good reason.
It's like Halloween for ghosts.
yeah.
It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
it really is.
This is September 1st is the Day of the Dead for preppers or something.
Yep.
So we're really excited, and we have an episode today that kind of works with that, right? So what are we talking about?
Well, we're going to talk about building your 30-day prepper supply.
Yeah. 30
Because
days.
30 days that's a stretch.
Oh, man.
It's a stretch for
Not
most.
easy. Yes.
But, man, how much further ahead you will be
30
by
days.
just doing that. Yeah.
30 days
At least.
Yeah.
But that's a huge step in like prepping like your food supply and all that. So,
yeah, we're excited.
being 30 days set, we're going to talk about how to do it maybe.
Booyah. But before we get to that, I got to tell you about BattleBox because this BattleBox thing is pretty dang cool. Don't you think, Cameron? It is full of solid gear, you know, for adventure seekers, for survivalists, for outdoor enthusiasts, and casual preppers. Each month, BattleBox sends you the coolest selection of handpicked outdoor survival and everyday carry gear, all valued at far more than what you normally pay. You never know what's in the next box, but here is a sampling of what users received this month. The Pura bag with P&G water filter packets, great for a 30-day prepper supply, and the Summit Knife Co. Mount Olympus folder, sexy as all get out. All this badassness starts at just $34.99 per month. They've shipped almost 1 million boxes and won Best Men's Subscription Box of 2017. I think they won a bunch of stuff this year too. I got to get this updated. I got to talk to old boys down there.
Big deal.
Yeah, but our listeners, they get a free knife when you sign up at trybattlebox.com/casualpreppers. Do you like knives? You're going to really love a free knife. So go to trybattlebox.com/casualpreppers and get your free knife. And before we move on, Cam, we're announcing it's September 1st, Prepper Month. We are giving away an amazing product. We're stoked about it. You guys, we've talked about this before, the Off-Grid Co. bag. This is the Faraday backpack that they have. It is so freaking sweet. I don't know if you've seen this thing, but if you've been following us, you have seen it. They have, it's a really cool, like gray man kind of style Faraday pack. It has little built-in places for your cell phone, your key fob, your tablet, your laptop, all constructed with their Faraday bag proprietary multi-layer shielding system. Do you guys understand what that means? Most people don't. But what it means is that you can't be hacked, and if an EMP goes off, your stuff is safe.
Playing video games that same night.
Something like that. Right. And so we're giving one of these away, you guys, and we're super duper excited, and we're excited to team up with Off-Grid Co. for this. So please go to any of our social media channels, click on the link in our bio, and it'll show you there's a whole bunch of different ways you can enter. You can enter like 14 different ways.
Nice.
So you just do all of them. I want you to go down the list and get them all done. So because we're really excited. You got 2 weeks to enter this thing, and this is a $350
Yeah, this isn't an
bag.
ordinary backpack.
This thing is sick, okay?
It probably doesn't even get picked up on radar.
No. I think
I really
turn
want to just
invisible.
create alias. Cameron Coonran. Now I'm going to apply all 14.
Cameron Coonran. That's a little weird. Are you my son or my husband? Because I don't know how that works.
I'm both.
Well, yeah, we're
it's weird,
redneck.
I know.
We're redneck. But it's worth getting this bag to go to do it right.
It did sound awkward, huh?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Like Kobe Hardy.
Yeah, I'm like,
that hurts my ear.
No, thank you. But anyways, go please, and I'll probably try and put a link in the podcast description as well, so you can just click there and go check it out.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Really, really excited because this is a really fantastic giveaway, and we're excited for one of you guys to win this thing. It's dope.
Listener reviews starts now.
I don't say dope very often.
If you do get it and win it, probably send it to us. We'll check it out for you, see how good it is.
Make sure it works. I got one.
Yeah,
I already have one.
That's right, you do.
I'm stoked about it. You want to go with this, Cameron?
Ian Clark.
Oh, he's Scottish.
Ian.
Apparently.
Found these guys a couple months ago, already burned through all their podcasts. Good info, good laughs. Still waiting on their next book, Water Skills. Get wet with prepping.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fellas, be prepared for your wives being pissed at the voices you're going to be doing constantly.
Mm-hmm. It rubs off.
What I wasn't prepared for, my wife walking into the room the other day and she busted at 1 hour.
That'd be weird to have your wife doing the redneck voice.
Honey, I want to make out tonight.
Yeah. Do you like my nightie? I look good, babe. What do you think?
I'm going gray man tonight in the bed.
You'll never find me. That's the gray man she goes.
Wife mastered that one already.
You're ready to get down.
Bedtime gray man.
Yeah.
Where is she? Showering? Doing her hair?
I don't know. Making some concoction in the bathroom, probably.
She's gone.
Yeah. Anyways, if you guys want to be part of this portion of the podcast, go to iTunes, go to Facebook, leave us a 5-star review, and make it awesome.
It's a mad, mad world.
Yeah, the world is mad. There's no doubt about it. And when I read this morning, I'm like, gosh, this sucks. The headline reads, Jackson, Mississippi. Residents told to shower with their mouths closed as water treatment plant repairs continue on day 4 of the
water. You can still shower,
yeah.
But don't open your mouth.
Don't get any in your mouth. Don't get any in your eyes. Don't let it touch your skin.
Duct tape every orifice and get in the shower.
Can you imagine?
God. You're like, okay, well.
But I always shower with my mouth open.
Honey, I'm going.
Actually,
flood your mouth.
It's funny because I'm weird. I don't know if a lot of people do this, but I do
shower.
I shower all the time. No, I brush my teeth in the shower.
Oh yeah,
I do that actually every day, and so I would be pissed off about this because I can't open my mouth in the shower.
That's true. Ruin your day.
It does. Yeah, it would totally ruin my day. But anyways, Mississippi's capital city entering a 4th day Thursday with little or no water flowing from faucets. Authorities are scrambling to get a failing water treatment plant plagued by decades of deferred maintenance back online. Decades. Well, about 20 years ago, we should have started
this. Shut down? I haven't been in there in 20 years.
I didn't know she was still over there.
I just thought the water's coming straight from the river.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wasn't even getting treated.
We were supposed to do that back in early 2000.
I punctured a hole in the chlorine bucket and just let it trickle in the water.
I opened the window in the plant, figured that fresh air would do some good.
I let the UV rays hit on the water.
Can you imagine?
Decades.
Like what?
I've been abandoned for years. We're supposed to be checking on it?
We got a new mascot for the city. We didn't have the money. But we got that cool beaver outfit for old Frank Hardy on edge of town to run around town with our beaver outfit. I don't know. Mississippi beavers.
Beaver or water treatment. Which one you want, city?
Beaver's hilarious.
Greedy.
Let's get it. But it's just hilarious, man.
Decades.
It's
terrifying.
Yeah, I know.
We're probably drinking pure, silicone fluoride and all kinds of weird stuff.
The problem, which comes on top of a boil water notice in effect more than a month, has upended life in the city of roughly 150,000 residents, where schools were shuttered this week, businesses are forced to adapt, and people have had to wait in long lines for bottled water so they can drink, cook, brush your teeth. This is just not good. They're hoping Jackson Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba.
Where is this?
It's in Mississippi.
Wow. I
don't know.
I was like, is this still the same town?
Yeah, this is the same town in
Interesting
Mississippi.
name.
Merchokwe Antar Lumumba. Lumumba.
La Bamba. I love that.
Alabamba.
That's right.
Lumumba. So anyways, things are not going great over there in Jackson, Mississippi.
Wow.
They've had some flooding. They've had a whole bunch of stuff. It just goes to tell you got to have some water at home.
Water, I can't, like, it's so disruptive if it gets messed up. Like,
Yeah, you can't trust the
can't
government.
cook, can't gargle and brush your teeth in
No.
the shower.
You can't trust anybody
No.
to
That's
give you your stuff.
freaky, man.
Yeah,
the water
Lumumba.
treatment plant was just a historical site that they didn't realize
Somebody
was
walks
actually
in,
supposed
hey,
to be
this thing's still churning out water.
There's water going in it now, but no one's been in there.
I don't know. We got to have somebody
Just
go
full
down.
of animals and bats pooping in the water.
Somebody call Mayor Lumumba. We got to figure this out.
Oh, yes.
Chokeway, I don't want to tell you this, but we still got a water treatment plant. Did you know?
Guess we're going to have to add the water treatment department back on the tax.
Yeah, gosh. Your cousin still ain't got a job. Can he go out there and figure it out?
Yeah, good luck hiring people.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, that's
$38
crazy.
an hour minimum wage, the water plant probably.
Yeah. Here's another part of the world.
Okay.
From furnace to flood.
Oh,
The
that's
world's
catchy.
hottest city in Pakistan now underwater.
Well, at least they aren't as hot as they were.
Things are getting super weird. Another sign of global
apocalypse.
warming, right?
Oh, global warming.
Yeah, yeah. So now, after heavy monsoon rains
Mm-hmm.
submerged large parts of the country, 200 students homeless, struggling to get food and caring for injured relatives. Extreme
Mm-hmm.
weather events in such a short space of time have caused havoc across the country, killing hundreds, cutting off communities, wrecking homes and infrastructure,
Infrared structure.
and raising concerns over health and food security. So, an abundance of water, on the other hand,
Yeah.
can be very bad.
Well, for
and
sure.
like how fast, like flooding creeps me out because it seems harmless. You're like, there's water. Just get up away from it. It destroys everything.
Well, then your socks get wet.
Contaminates. Oh yeah,
I hate it when my socks
Lawn
get wet.
gets all soggy.
Ugh.
Oh man,
I know.
But yeah, flooding is a big deal, and it's happening more and more often lately because
And then if you have
Earth's getting too hot.
If you have like a gremlin,
Oh
that's
yeah,
bad.
yeah. Oh yeah,
they get wet.
a mogwai.
A mogwai.
Or no, is that the name of?
That's the name of it. Wait.
No,
Gizmo's
Gizmo's a
the name.
mogwai.
Yeah,
so
mogwai.
mogwai's turn.
Yeah, you
You
got
don't
a
want. You got a bunch of mogwai.
But I think if you get the gremlins wet, doesn't the same thing happen?
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
They produce more.
I
too.
can't remember. It's been
Because
a while.
Spike jumped in the pool,
That's right.
and then he created a whole
A
army.
bunch of spikes came out. That's right.
Good movie. It's a good movie.
Great movie.
But anyways, flooding, big deal. Across places that never get water.
Yeah.
And when you don't get water very often, the earth can't handle it.
That's right.
So
Boy, doesn't this go along with what we're talking about today?
yeah, water in both ways. No water,
Yeah.
contaminated water, and too much water.
All the things. So we decided, let's talk about building that 30-day prepper supply. And this is kind of like an overall supply to kind of sustain you
Yeah.
for 30 days. And so,
This is like a personal goal for me. So
Yes.
this one hits home.
oh yeah, I feel it right in my
This
bosom.
just gets my soul.
It burns my bosom, I can tell you that when I think about it.
Yeah.
So sometimes in prepping, especially for me, having a goal is a great way to go about it. You know, I just don't get things done if I don't have some sort of a goal. I feel like I'm just like all over the place.
True.
I get a knife, I
I'm
get a
the
backpack
worst for it.
and I
I got a weekend to do a lot, and I
Yeah.
don't have a plan, and
Exactly.
I waste the entire weekend.
Exactly. So some of us have gotten to that point now where we've got that first main goal, which is that 72 hours. We have that covered. And that's really...
If you don't,
Yeah, please start on that.
you're in big trouble.
Please start on that. Because that's kind of your bare minimum when it comes to preparedness. And so the next logical step is probably that 2 weeks and then to a month. But hitting that 3 to 6 month or even 1 year mark just feels like it's too much for most people.
It's true.
It's too much. You don't have the
It's so
space.
hard to like organize,
Yeah.
do an inventory, do a rotation on that much food.
Yeah.
So I've got so much that I've lost track of that I'm like,
Yeah.
it's expired.
So 3 to 6 to 12 months, to be honest, like I don't even think about it. It's too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much as far as, financially. That's really hard to do because it's expensive to
hugely
get all that stuff. It's too much space-wise. You only have so much space in your home. So I feel like,
To buy another home.
yeah, it is. We got to do what you got to do.
Homes for food and storage.
But if you can work on that 30-day one feels like a great sort of happy medium plan, a happy medium supply. And to be honest, if you're prepared for 30 days, you're doing fine. You're doing
extremely
great.
well for...
Yeah, you're in the top 1 percentile of everybody. And I'd say you should pat yourself on the back if you're there. But so that's
Can you imagine not having to go shopping for food or supplies
1
for
month.
30 days?
It's great.
You'd feel like, man, feel like the most important survivor man ever.
And we're going to talk about that too. And we're not just talking about water and food. There's so much for this 30-day plan.
Those are big hitters, but
yes, those are
much more to
definitely the biggest pillars of this. But you have to have a whole plan for that 30 days. And so we're going to hopefully talk about all of those things. And I'm sure we missed some stuff, but if you get this, you're going to have the core of what you need done. So let's start where I think we should start. I think it's a great place, and that's a plan and an inventory. You have to have those things because it is daunting figuring out a 30-day supply of everything you need. So before you dive in, before you go out and start buying beans and rice and water, start from that great base of starting with the emergency plan and, inventory list as well. We're going to talk about that, but starting with the emergency plan, it is the basic family emergency plan should always be your foundation and the starting point for most of this stuff, because it tells you what you need to be prepping, how you need to be prepping, and the things you need to worry about. So there's so many different ways to do this. You can go to ready.gov/plan. They've got some there.
Such good things there. Those templates are awesome.
They're great. Redcross.org has a really good one. That's the one I use personally. But to be honest, there's a bunch of them online. Who did I see? Somebody we follow that also has a preparedness guy, I think, has his own. You can get a whole bunch of them. So just go find one online. This is great because it makes you sit down and think about the disasters you need to be prepared for. That's the biggest thing for me, is doing that assessment. So it starts you off on the right foot. It starts you with a communications plan. It starts to get everything kind of in a cohesive plan for your whole family. And your whole family knows what to do and what things you're worried about and how to approach them. So start there. It really takes 20 minutes. This is not something that's a huge deal. It takes 20 minutes, and then you just go over it every so often, okay? Emergency plan, start there. The next one is something I wish I would have done when I started.
Oh, my gosh.
Because now I feel like I'm just down the road too far and I can't turn around. That is an inventory list. And this goes for everything. Food is probably the best and the biggest thing you need to inventory, but water, supplies, gear, there's so much to inventory. And if you can start off on that right foot, everything is going to be so much easier moving forward. Seriously.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Planning and having, think about how many times your weekly grocery list, some item on there goes bad. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, we bought some English muffins to make hamburgers.
All gone.
4 days later, it's all rotted. And you're like, come on.
Yeah.
So this is it's a waste if you don't do this.
100%. And it's also a great way to know where to start your supplies, where to begin, because maybe you already have a crap ton of water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just didn't realize it. Now you looked at your list and you're like, oh, I'm actually good for 2 weeks for water, so maybe I should build up my food to that 2 week. Now we're looking at 2 weeks. Now I know on my list, okay, I'm good for 2 weeks there. Now let's get our, medications and our cash and all this kind of other stuff up to that 2 weeks. And now let's build up from there. It's great to go back and look at, what you have, where you need to go.
Yeah.
And there's so many different ways to do this. You could just get a sheet of paper and start writing stuff down.
Exactly.
Use a pen and a pad of paper, or you can use a trusty old spreadsheet, which is also another good way to go. Or there's apps that help you do this as well.
Right.
Million different ways. Just do whatever works for you, whatever's easiest. The apps are nice, but I find them a little clunky sometimes.
I do
trying
too.
to do some of this stuff.
And then there's an update, and you can't log into it or something. It's not that. Yeah. I think I would probably go the approach of a paper inventory and then add it to your app if you have time.
Yeah, or add it to a spreadsheet. I like the spreadsheet better.
Yeah,
that's just me. And then you can put it up into Google Docs, and then you can get to it, and your wife can get to it, or whatever.
I can get to it,
and Cam can get to it. I like it when Cam goes in there and
share it all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's the beginning, the plan, and your inventory list.
Right, and it's overwhelming to like think about, but like when you start breaking it down into these smaller steps, like you said, get a little plan, start a small inventory, and then it starts to just kind of take off.
Yes.
To obtain that 30 days of food and water, long and short, there can be like the method of just taking the whole month to do it or 6 months to do it.
Yeah.
Or if you're just feeling like an urgency, like you could easily get it done in 2 weeks, depending on money and time. But for the most part, there's a lot of different ways to kind of start accumulating a 30-day supply. So a few of those that I was just going to mention, one is like the whole one for you and one for a friend. When you go shopping or you make a shopping list, you just double all the things that you
So then you give
bought.
one to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
The friend is yourself.
Oh, okay.
Basically. So you're buying 2 of the same so that one can go into storage and one can go into your regular rotation of food.
That
and
seems
meal
to
plan.
be the easiest.
It is.
Right.
There's my wife usually makes 1 to 2 Walmart orders a week.
Yes.
It's just like add a few more things on there each time. And she has done pretty good at that. And she has like a calendar sometimes that she'll follow. But that's probably the easiest, the easiest thing for you to do because you already do it. You got to have groceries every week. So you might as well just start doubling up.
And then obviously double up on the things that make sense to double up on.
Exactly.
Right? You don't
doubling up on your English muffins, like I just said.
Yeah, unless you're going to freeze them, which is fine.
Exactly.
You can do that, but
you got to have that plan.
You have to have that plan, exactly.
So, each day of the week, here's another one you can do is each day a week, a different focus. This is actually the one that we made last year.
Yes.
So each day, and that doesn't mean it's like today's water, I got to get 30 days worth of water.
Yeah.
It's more of a like, you can do that.
Oh,
but
that's
you
from the 30 days of preparedness we did, right?
Yeah,
is that what
exactly.
you're talking about?
That's kind of what this is. Each day of the week is a different focus.
Yeah.
It's like Monday, first of the month is your water, and that day you spend organizing and having a plan of getting more water or go get all that water for the 30 days. And then the next day's food, and then the next day's fire starter, the next day, so each day you have like a different, and that way works. It just not necessarily having to get that, but it puts it in your mind for that day and getting a plan set. There's the plain old math method.
Oh.
Okay, I need 30 breakfast entrees, 30 lunch ideas.
That's true.
30 dinners. It's just straightforward. You need 30 per person or a dinner that'll feed several. So you just break it down to a simple number of 30. So.
And then sometimes, though, I like to look at it like 30 dinner entrees, but half of those can probably be leftovers for lunch the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Planning is a big deal.
So you have to
making the most out of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like doing 30 individual things per person for a 5-member family, it's overwhelming. Insane. So it's like you got to sit down and plan these out. Yeah. And like, I like that you have like the leftover carryover. This one I thought was pretty cool that I found online. It's a box a week method. So you actually will take all the shelf-stable ingredients and label like a box with everything that's in there. And you'll have your dinners, your breakfast, and lunch and stuff all organized into one box. It's a week long, and then that.
Oh, that's kind of
Then you
cool.
do another week for your family, and you stack it, and you do another week.
So then you get 4 of those, and you've got your month.
Yeah, and they're organized into
like that
week, and it's like marked on what's in there, and it doesn't share ingredients from like the bulk. So it's like you have the right amount of flour for that week, and that's kind of a cool way. I thought that was pretty cool.
I actually do like that's a really good idea.
Yeah,
like
so you
that.
just use those like Staples paper boxes, or you use like a fruit box or something like that.
Yeah,
or even a bin. Like a
plastic bin.
Yeah, plastic bin.
Yeah.
Dinners in a jar. There's like a big deal about doing that. You can kind of make a little meal that's got all the seasoning stuff like separate. You got macaroni in the bottom. All you have to do is dump it into a boiling pot of water. And like some people say you can use like a gift bag. There's always a billion of those kicking around, it seems like.
Until you need one.
So true.
And then all you have is Christmas bags, and it's somebody's birthday.
It's a newborn baby. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Congratulations on the new baby.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Read your scriptures.
Read your
Good baptism.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those gift bags are good to like set all the ingredients in for a meal that you can kind of set aside too. Then have your wife giving them away for Christmas present, probably.
Yeah.
Online checklists and calendars. There's like in our community, they have a calendar that has like a week long of like things that you can buy when you go to the grocery store. Not like that one. It's not broken up individually per item per day like the calendar we made. It's more of like this week, it's like finding this and this and this, and each day picking up orders. And so there's a lot of different calendars that you can print off and use.
Yeah.
And I kind of like those too. Like any one that kind of shows you each day, like, oh, this week we're going to focus on this and this.
And it's getting harder and harder because the price of food right now is ridiculous. And so you have to really have a plan.
Be very creative.
Yeah, it's not just
you can find good stuff for decent, like,
yeah.
And then if you have, a bunch of money and you don't want to like put all the time in, you can definitely go and buy a bucket for 30 days. Yeah. You can buy
Nutrient Survival has some great 30 to 90 day stuff.
Excellent. Yeah. And there's other companies that make these.
Yeah.
A lot of those other ones are crap. Like there's a lot of crappy ones. They taste horrible. They do have your 30-day calories, but they're poop.
Yeah. That's why I like the 90-day ones at Nutrient Survival, because then I know that I've got 3 people covered for 30 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you buy one of those, like, oh, I've got 3 people covered.
That's what's so nice about those 90-day ones.
Yes.
Because you just wrap it all up in your one-person one because you know you can use it for more. But those are the simplest. That's the quickest plan, but the most expensive and probably not the most tasty plan.
Yeah, probably not. But if
you're just like,
easy.
I just don't have time to go over all this stuff, they do make those. And I think I saw the price on some of the 30-day one-person ones were roughly like $120, $130.
Oh, really?
It's pretty expensive.
No, I thought that's cheap.
For a 30-day for one person?
Yeah.
I don't
that's
know.
actually pretty cheap.
Can be pricey. 5 people,
Mountain House,
$600.
Yeah, well, Mountain House for 30 days, I think, is around 600 and something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But, these are real basic, like...
Yeah.
But, yeah, you can get them for that price. So.
Yeah, I think most of them, are around that 500, 600, 700 for a 30-day thing, which, if you think about it, that's a lot of food.
It's a ton of food.
It's a ton of food. So, but it's so easy.
You can do it that way.
You can do it that way. It's much easier. So let's talk now about water. Man. Water. I love water. Drink it every day. Every damn day.
I'll tell you what, right now, I want to drink
You're going to have a little water. So this, to me, is the hardest one. It is so difficult. I've got a family of 5. How am I supposed to store water for 30 days for a family of 5? This is not easy. This is hard. This is, to me, is one of the hardest parts and one of the least sexy parts of this whole thing, but it is one of the most important aspects of it. So the CDC says you need a gallon of water per person per day for emergencies. We're not saying most of the time you're going to be using more than that, obviously, but this is for emergencies. So they break it down to a half gallon for drinking, a quarter gallon for cooking, and a quarter gallon for washing. So that keeps... For one person, a gallon can get you through the day. So I think that's a great, you need to look at least a gallon a day, right?
Pretty simple to think of.
Yeah. But so when you multiply that out, a family of 5, you need 150 gallons for 30 days.
Yes.
That is a lot of water. Okay. So don't let that overwhelm you. Just, again, begin simple. Begin with that 3 days. Get your 3 days done. Or say, okay, I've got 3 days of water for everybody. Fantastic. Build up to that 2 weeks. Okay, now I've got 2 weeks. I'm halfway there. And then just keep building. And some people, honestly, may not be able to get 150 gallons stored. That is a lot of water. Because
most of the people I know that have that, like, built their house around a huge tank that was already there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like...
Or that they put there.
You have 2 barrels, or do you have
255 gallons.
He has got 2. He's got more than most people, right? That, to me, that's more. I have 1 barrel that's 55 gallons. That I feel like, okay, I've got
so much space.
It is, man. It totally takes up a lot of space. But even that, I have to have 3 of those.
So much.
To cover my family for 30 days.
That's crazy.
I just don't have space for 3.
Yeah,
I have
it's
space,
hard.
I have space for 1, and that's just where I'm at, okay? And so you just have to deal with what you have. And
I think I figured for my family, for a week of water of the bottles, I have to buy 6 of those 24 packs.
6 24 packs.
Will get me a week. So
just for drinking or for everything?
That's the gallon a week.
That's
or a gallon a day, I mean.
Gallon.
My kids are going to really... Week. They don't drink much water.
Nah.
Thank goodness my kids don't love water.
They mostly just like to eat grass. They love it.
They get their juices from the food and the plants.
They eat a lot of melons.
I still remember growing up, like, my parents saying that, like, about some pets and stuff. Like, I don't get enough water from the plants. And they're, like, dead a week later.
What?
I forgot to change the water. Why don't you get the water bottle in there?
Yeah.
You said they got it from their salad.
I think that's how they got it. Yeah, that's funny. But there's a million different ways to store this water.
Watermelons.
Watermelons. They're just full of water. Really,
fill your basement full of water.
Watermelons are 90% water.
Yeah,
you
feel it.
You do.
It hits you.
It's got a
right
after
8-hour delay.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're gonna explode.
It's like your kidneys are like full force. It's like dump it all.
Yeah. Now it's time.
I don't get it.
Releasing urine now. Right now.
But chewing water's funner than drinking water.
It really is. Especially when you got a little bit of sugar in there.
Yeah.
And a little crunch.
Love it. Beta carotene.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Vitamin C. So there's a million different ways to store this water. But we talked about barrels already. And, you could do like those big cisterns too, the freaking huge suckers. I'd love to, but again, I have to be realistic.
Modern day house, yeah.
I have to be realistic, and you have to be realistic too. Some people don't have to be.
Stop being unrealistic.
Yeah. Okay. Jeez. But barrels are probably the most of us. That's kind of the biggest one we can deal with, right? You could put it.
That is,
somewhere in the basement.
Still
maybe.
awkward, but
still
it works.
Sucks. Mine lives there for the rest of its life now. In my life now, I moved it once.
I had to move 2 of them, and it was not an easy task.
I said that somewhere, and I was like, "Don't you got a barrel mover?
You got a barrel dolly?"
Yeah, barrel dolly. That's what it was. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It didn't come with my barrel. Sorry.
Yeah, I just don't.
I did have to use a dolly.
Yeah. And obviously that's easier, but you don't want to have to do it. Okay, and you got barrels, 55 gallons. That's a great
Actually,
way.
I don't think it'll fit through the door now.
Probably
so it's
not.
just stuck down there
Stuck in
permanently.
there, yeah. Water bottles. Obviously, this is the easiest. You go buy a pack of water bottles, throw it somewhere. You don't have to throw it, but put it somewhere, and you got a lot of water.
20 of them. I got 4.
He kept telling me to throw it. How many do I got to break before this works?
Casual preppers.
You idiots.
I threw my water, you a-holes.
Your water skills suck. Hate this.
Terrible information, terrible podcast. 1 star.
1 star. Wanted a podcast about politics.
Wasted an hour of my life listening to this podcast.
Trump 2024. Biden 2029. Wait, that's not even an election year.
I'm on the fence here. He paid my loans.
Yeah.
He made he made America great again. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, hell, it's a crapshoot here. Either one. I don't know if Biden's going to be alive that much longer.
There's no way. His brain won't be alive.
I don't know. I think they might be able to take his brain out and put it somewhere.
Then again, one of the 6 actors as Biden.
That's true, huh?
Might make him rerun again.
To be honest, why not?
Yeah, I would.
They can't do any worse on
Kim
camera.
Jong-un's been doing it for Gucci or Yuchi. What's that?
Gucci.
Gucci bag.
Kim Jong-un is Gucci.
Hey, Kim, what Gucci is it? You American, get out of here.
You tell me about that Gucci.
We do 1 year here, you do 2 Gucci over there.
I don't know about no Gucci. I know about a hoochie Gucci. Maybe.
Way down.
Way down yonder. You do it with an Asian accent, it's even funnier.
Oh, man.
Do it.
I'm not doing it.
No, I'm not doing it either.
Maybe later.
Maybe once we stop recording. But anyways, you got water bottles. Great way. And then you got like those 5-gallon military style jugs. I love those.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah, I don't have any. I need some.
I like them. I got 2 of those, but like I feel like they're a great like bug out scenario water. I could throw those in the truck, and I got water.
I feel like some group member is going to try and pour it in your gas tank.
Oh, most likely.
I filled you up.
Yeah, thanks, man. She sputters a little when she runs now.
It's just, I didn't know you had steam engine in there.
Got steam coming out of there. Yeah. Well,
but yeah, those I do want some of those.
They're just great. And then you got jugs. Got to be glass. Got to be glass. Okay.
I love me some jugs.
So there's a lot of different ways you can do this. Just continue to do the best you can. Like I said, do what you can. Make it realistic. But I think to where I don't think I can't have that 150 gallons on site. It's just hard for me.
Yeah.
I don't have the space. So I feel like your water purification devices are kind of your next in-line thing there. So I think it is definitely needs to be a part of your 30-day supply and your 30-day water plan.
Sure.
So something like a Sawyer Mini, a Live Straw, Grail, Berkey filters, tabs, ways to boil water. All of those things have to be a piece of this plan. And understand where you can go get some fresh water near you if you need to, right?
Or if you don't even know for sure if it's fresh.
Yeah, just
you got a nice filter.
Yeah, so that's water.
Yeah.
Get your 30-day water supply.
That's a great one. Water's freaking hard, man.
Yeah, it is.
And it stresses me out.
Yeah, but it's also delicious.
It's readily available unless you're in Alabama or Mississippi.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Gucci juicy.
Little did you know, for 30 years it's never been treated.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's talk about some food, huh?
All right.
I love me some food.
Okay.
So, at least 23,000 calories per person.
Per
roughly,
day.
Yeah.
That's how much I eat in a day.
Yeah. That's what it's going to take to do a 30-day supply, 23,000 calories per person. Roughly, that's a lower than normal calorie count for the average American. That's 1,500 calories per day.
Yeah, that's lean.
Yeah.
I've done that before. I've done like 1,300 a day or 1,400.
So I read Tom Cruise. That's what he does every day. He only eats 1,500 calories.
Yeah. It's
looks
doable.
Amazing.
It's
amazing.
Gosh, that guy. If I could be half a Tom Cruise when I'm that age.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to get into Scientology.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the key.
Well, it could be.
The spaghetti monster in the sky keeps you looking good like that guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to have 1,500 calories per day at least.
Mm-hmm.
Like the church, LDS Church, they have a lot of good information on storing food, but they say to shoot for a 2,000 calorie per day diet.
Yeah.
Strictly based on long-term food storage, the LDS Church says the average adult would need the following amounts for 30 days. And this is kind of nice. This is a real basic rundown for 30 days. If you're just like, I don't want to look at all that stuff, if you want to have a good supply that you can store away for, for several years.
That's simple and like dumbed down. Like it's not going to be the greatest food you've ever eaten.
It's not a high variety, but the stuff will last and it's easy to pick up. 5 pounds of beans, that's 25 pounds of grains, 5 pounds of sugars, 2 pounds of fat, and 8 pounds of dairy. That's it.
So I just go to Walmart, give me 2 pounds
That'll
of
hit
fat.
your calorie. Yep.
Where's the fat aisle?
Where's the LDS person in here? He knows what we're talking about.
Well, who's got a missionary or a bishop? I need to talk to somebody about these fats.
They
and
understand these numbers.
It's a bunch of.
Did someone say 2 pounds of fat? That's
First, read this book, and then we'll talk.
But yeah, 1,500 to 2,000 calories.
Okay.
Probably, since you can, like, shoot for the 2,000 calorie. You're going to have kids that aren't going to eat very much. You can add that 500 to your own diet.
Hell yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm eating all
Don't
their
waste
leftovers.
all that, yeah.
You going to eat the rest of that fat, babe? I'm going to eat that.
Yes, I am.
I'm going to put a little of my dairy on top of it. And some bean, too.
I'm going to chalk paint it. I'm going to
chalk paint it.
And chalk paint it and get it a little bit antique looking.
Yeah, I'm going to antique that fat.
Anyway, but one big thing, like a lot of different websites and forums talk about, this 30-day food supply does need to be different from like your 5, 10, 25 year. You want to do it more with the foods that you're going to use like quickly.
Okay.
Stuff that's a little bit more, obviously you're going to need a better plan for this food because it's going to spoil faster.
Full show.
But it's going to be the most likely thing that you're going to turn to in that 30 days of an event. So the stuff that you use every day, the stuff that you're used to, the stuff that that you don't have to crack into a bag of flour, every time. So and that's trickier. It takes a lot of planning because you got to make sure you're rotating it quickly because it's going to go bad just a little beyond that 30 days. But that is probably more.
No shit.
Rad. But really, this is like the pantry food that you're going to have more of, that you're going to like be cycling in and out quicker. And so a lot of planning behind it. Things to consider, the ready-to-eat foods and things that need little cooking are probably something you want to look into too, like that uses the least amount of water to prepare, that doesn't always have to use the oven or electricity, because you never know. You might not be able to use all that. And then stuff that can be cooked over an open flame, because if all else fails, you can cook out in your yard.
Yeah.
And just, and some things don't do well with that. So you've got to have the supplies to do that, and you got to have the knowledge to do like Dutch oven and things like that. Focus on what you have now and we'll eat first, like I was saying. Obviously, freezer foods and refrigerated foods, we talked about that. You're going to have those stocked anyway for just normal everyday use, and you're going to use those first things. So don't plan on that being like a huge part of your 30-day.
That'll be kind of like that first few days.
Exactly. Because if you lose power or whatever, all that stuff's going to spoil. So don't rely heavily on every meal with like frozen chicken or something like that. But it's not bad to include, but you don't want to heavily plan.
But you could cook that stuff in the first few days, and then obviously, it's better than nothing. I guess, right? Yeah.
So this is where that like your shopping, your everyday list of foods and items to prepare for that week. Like we try and sit down, and my wife does a great job of this. She always asks me, "What do you want to eat this week? What should we order?" I give her like one meal, and then she plans.
That's always
the
worst, trying to come up with the
so
meals,
hard.
Man.
And I feel bad. She does an awesome job at doing that. But with that, you could prepare like an additional week of the same foods and get them in a way that you can store them a little bit longer. You know, if you're making spaghetti one night, then you pick up an extra bag and you make a meal plan for that spaghetti, and you get a couple more of them for additional weeks. Because I mean, in reality, we typically eat pretty similar every day of the week.
Yeah,
it's just kind of shifted around.
Yeah,
Tuesday we have, fettuccine Alfredo or something like that. And then you have it the next week on a Thursday. So it's like your meals don't change a lot.
Yeah.
So you might as well just start making lists for those additional weeks of the month and just make your plan to store that food that's going to be the same thing that you're eating anyway. And then at that point, if you run out after 30 days, I mean, the world's going to be chaos at that point.
Yeah.
But you'll have your
30 days.
Yeah. You'll have your 30 days. Like a lot of the common things to put in those 30 days are stuff like peanut butter, whole wheat crackers, nuts and trail mix, cereal. You can buy tons of cereal boxes.
Oh, for sure.
And they're another thing that you might want to consider getting some of those sealed containers, like pour your box of cereal into that, just because it's easier to store and you can put like 2 boxes in one. Any more, you get like those, those little teeny ones you camp with.
Yeah.
The big boxes have like maybe a quarter more of that.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous how much cereal is. But cereal's a really good storage food, and kids really like that.
And even if it gets stale, you can still eat that stuff. Man.
Exactly.
Like, I've eaten stale cereal a million times.
My parents is always stale.
Yeah.
Seems like. Power bars, granola bars, dried fruits, canned meats like tuna, salmon, chicken, turkey, stuff that you can...
Tushonka.
Yeah. Just open it right up, put it into some food, you're good to go. Canned vegetables are great. And remember, again, with like canned things, it has a sell-by date, but even the FDA says, like, don't throw it away. Like, just as long as the can isn't bulged and rusted and
as long as
been
it's not bulged,
submerged underwater
you're
for
probably
a year. Yeah. That stuff's still usable.
And use your common sense. Open it up. It smells like ass. Don't eat it. Like, it's very simple.
Right.
Yeah.
And those things, like, watch for the lot sales, like, all the time. And that's kind of what I'm going to focus on this month, is getting more canned foods, more readily, like foods that are ready to eat. You take them out of the can, you heat them up, and you're ready to go. Because that's going to be most of what your 30 days is going to consist of. Sports drinks, sugar, salt and pepper, powdered milk. And then consider fresh vegetables that stay a little longer. Like apples can last quite a while in the fridge. And when they're out, even they don't go bad too fast. Potatoes stay a long while without being in a proper. If you keep them in the basement or in a cupboard and stuff, they're going to last for a good amount of time without power. Like, you don't have to worry about storing them. But those are a lot of different things you can do. Again, I would probably focus a little bit more on that 30 days of being stuff that you use now. Just planning on having it stored so that it lasts a few weeks. So that you have your 30-day of more, like, it's perishable but shelf stable food that you're and it's going to most likely eat before. Because, like the pandemic, I didn't want to jump into my 25.
No.
I was missing a few things, and those are the areas you can work on, like butter and powdered milk and things like that. You don't have to go to the grocery store.
This is the one area where you have to really have a plan, and you have to kind of stick to it, and you have to be constantly looking at it, because that stuff has to be moved in and out. Like, there's no other way to do it, or it just goes bad.
Right.
So you have to be vigilant. You have to be watching it every single month.
Yeah.
But if you do, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Works great.
So again, try to focus on like your 30-day of more usable, like common foods that you do. But there's nothing wrong with I just want my 30-day to be something I can store for 5 years. That's fine too.
Fine.
So,
yeah. Or 25 years.
Yeah. But real quick, I want to mention cybercrime.
Okay.
And it's such criminal activity. I hate it.
I don't like criminals.
But everybody does a lot of shopping online. A lot of people work online. You're just not protected.
Yeah.
And you need to be. And the best way to do that is with Surfshark. They have the best, easiest, most affordable VPN you can get. And you can go online, safe as ever. You can shop. You can click on accidental ads, and you're not going to have all of your information leaked out. It's great because the VPN will basically connect you to another location so they can't track it back to your IP address, your computer.
Magic.
It's crazy.
Magic.
So it's like working through someone else's computer in another country.
Yes.
That sounds weird too.
It is what it is.
But yeah, they have like the simplest app too that, like, if you're going to an airport, if you're traveling, it's probably the best time to get something like this so that you're not connected to a public Wi-Fi that all of your information can be hacked into. To get Surfshark, you just go to you go to surfshark.deals/casual preppers. It'll give you 30 days for free if you wanted to see what it's like. And it is seriously for $2.21 a month, less than $60 for 27 months.
You can't afford not to.
Seriously, I still have a subscription to it. They keep adding features. They got an antivirus. They have anti-malware. Like, all of this gets like lumped into such good software. And if you just want to try it out, 30 days for free, go ahead. That's what's so nice about it. And you use our code, you'll get like 83% off.
Yeah.
And you get 3 extra months. You're not going to find a better deal.
No.
And you're not going to find an easier to use app.
And what a simple, easy way to just up your preparedness. Boom. Like real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. You know what I mean?
Because
really awesome.
I can guarantee it, all of you, obviously, right now are using some device that's connected to the internet.
Yeah.
It's at risk in every place you go. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So get it.
Well, let's continue on for this 30-day supply. The next section we wanted to discuss is financial. A lot of people don't think about
sour
this.
spot to talk about for some.
It's tough. It's rough.
It's frustrating.
It's buff. It's scruff. There's so many things, but let's talk about the different aspects of financial preparedness for this 30-day supply. And the number one thing that I would look at is cash on hand, having some cash. We've talked about this so many times in some sort of an SHTF event, in an emergency of some type. Cash is so important to have with you. And it's just great for everyday issues that might arise, having some cash, right?
It's just weird how much this has fallen out of use.
So many people just don't have
it
They don't have
anymore.
any. And so you have to make a plan, and you have to be conscious about having some cash at all times.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what you can do. And, keeping cash in several locations in various bill sizes is a great thing to do. So keep some in the house, keep some in a vehicle, in different kits, on you, in your wallet, even at work maybe. There's a lot of different places that you can keep some. And I think I say all those things because I'm saying don't just put it all in your truck. You're right. You want to spread it out into different places. I mean,
like into the purchase of your truck?
No, just cash in the ashtray, right?
Yeah.
It's now a cash tray, not an ashtray. So just spread it out because, one place gets robbed or one place catches on fire. You don't want to lose all of it, right? And plus, you might need it somewhere else.
Yeah.
You might need it at home. You might need it at work. You might need it in one of your kits. So spread it out. It's the best way to do it. The amount is where it gets hard. How much do you do? Experts say a million different things. I looked at 50 different websites. They all say something different.
Experts say $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million on hand is almost enough to get you through 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with the
get you
price
some
of fuel.
That's probably what it'll cost to get your 30-day food supply.
It might be.
$1 million.
So you got to figure it out. I guess the ultimate goal when you look at it is to have enough cash on hand to get you through 30 days. That is an insane amount of money for some people. It's a lot if you think about it. Basically, having enough to cover everything. I think that's probably a little much for most people, so I don't think so. Start with $100. Seriously, start easy. I mean, even $100.
Realistically, around town, that's like $5,000.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, easily. So just start simply. Start with $100. Spread that over a few locations. You have enough spending money to get you through a basic emergency, right? If you got to fill up a gas tank or if you got to buy some food for the night, whatever it might be, $100 is a great way. And then for your 30-day supply, shoot for $250, or maybe
I think
$500.
That's a good amount.
Whatever it might be. Like you don't. There's so many different ways to go about this, but I think having enough expenses in cash for the entire month to cover everything, like thousands of dollars, I think that's much. That's little much.
Terrifying to have out of a safe location.
Yeah. But
unless you bury it, and that's even then. I don't
even just a minimum of $250.
That gives me like anxiety thinking about a whole month's worth of like income in cash somewhere.
No, thank you. Yeah,
it makes sense, but man,
it does make sense. But I think if you have like $250 over a month, you could have enough for fuel and some food to get you through if you had to.
Yeah,
right.
It's one tank of gas.
Yes, it's a half a tank of gas in a big truck,
and
it's an energy drink.
Town.
Yeah. So shoot to do that. That's
I like that. I can't we talk about it all the time, but having cash in a rainy day amount is so important.
It really is.
So many people don't have
that. Where cards maybe aren't working one day for something, a bank is closed. If you need to purchase some fuel and some groceries or some meds to get you through the day, $250 should be plenty.
You really should.
Even $100 most of the time is going to be sufficient for you. But again, you have to replenish that. But if it comes down to a 30-day issue, that's probably not going to be sufficient, but it gets you through most things. And $250, most people, that's going to be something to get them through.
Yeah.
So the next thing after cash on hand is emergency savings. This is humongous. And this is, I think we've read stats on this before that like the majority of Americans, like a large majority, cannot cover a $500 emergency.
That blows my mind.
$500. And I understand.
And you live around those people.
Yes.
Like, that's what's terrifying.
So,
I'm not saying you wouldn't want to help, but it's like,
yes,
that's so many people not prepared for.
It's insane, right? They're just living day to day, paycheck to paycheck. And I get it. Sometimes it's really hard to get out of that, but work
can be
to get out of that hole. You've got to get some savings. If you lose your job, if working becomes impossible because of a disaster or some sort of an issue, a personalized event hits, auto issues, medical, whatever it is, you have to have emergency savings to cover those things. So I really think your minimum for this emergency fund has to be $1,000. It has to be. Because you think of how many things could happen.
I agree.
A medical emergency, you look at the ER, $1,000. You walk through the front door.
Every time I drive by it each day.
Yeah, I just avert my eyes because I can't afford it. So you have to at least have $1,000 in this emergency savings. For your 30-day supply, you need to shoot for 30 days of expenses in this emergency fund. That's a lot. You have to cover everything for 30 days. That's the home, that's auto, that's food, everything, insurance, in medical. It could be a lot of money, but I think you have to have 30 days in this fund. And I'd shoot for more. I think 3 months is probably really the best. It's hard to do, but again, it's
a goal.
It's a goal. Yeah, but if you can get $1,000 for your emergency savings for this 30-day supply, I think that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to quickly touch on a couple other things. One of those is budgets.
Hate them.
I don't like them either. But it is very important, and especially depending on what your income and your lifestyle is. Some people, they don't care. They just spend whatever they want to spend, and it doesn't matter. But most people, a lot of people, you have to have a budget to know what's going in, what's coming out. And as a prepper, it's even more important. You need to budget for your preparedness items, for your upgrades. You need to budget for this 30-day supply of whatever you're trying to do. You need to budget to start building up that savings and start building up that cash on hand. I think a budget is important for this 30-day supply plan. Okay, Cameron?
I agree, 100%.
Okay. And the last one I'm going to talk about is not that big of a deal, but it's something to think about in the financial aspects is diversifying. Having all your money or all your cash in Ethereum.
Diversity is a big deal.
Yeah. If everything's in Ethereum, it's not a good idea.
Right.
You want to diversify your stuff. We're not financial advisors, but look, and it's not financial advice, but diversification is almost always safer. So just think about that.
It's almost always what most financial savvy people do.
So anyways, there's your financial aspects of this 30-day supply, prepper supply.
That's good. It's a huge part that gets overlooked because it works every day, but you don't realize how much you rely on it. So now let's talk about some medical and some health. Okay. Number one thing. Get yourself as healthy as you possibly can.
That's a really good
idea.
All
the time.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a hypocrite when it comes to that. I could do so much better.
Well, we all are.
But like that is more important than anything on this list that I'll talk about is being healthy so that you can survive a cold, survive a sickness, survive without food for a while, survive, it's just, and being able to get out of harm's way. So
it's so hard. It's so hard to get healthy.
Health and fitness is the number one thing on this whole thing.
Yeah.
But let's talk about like medical supplies.
Okay.
They are pretty readily available in most stores. Walgreens, Walmart, anywhere you go, gas stations,
dollar store.
You can pick up, the dollar store has a ton. I was like shocked by that. But you can get a lot of good things to store away for 30 days easily right now. Like add it to your shopping list of foods. You know, it's like I'll throw in a box of Band-Aids and some Pepto-Bismol.
And it's gone by Thursday. Right. Both of them.
Seriously. Put a Band-Aid on, drink some Pepto-Bismol.
Put a little Pepto-Bismol on there, slap the Band-Aid on.
I love that winter green feel.
Oh, yeah. It's a little tingly, and that's how you know it's working.
I smell good. Put a little Pepto
Dude,
on me.
I love Pepto.
I do too. It's
I could
delicious.
drink that. Like if I could have a
Best
cocktail
candy.
like Pepto in there.
Just sit there like.
Except for the cherry kind. Have you ever the cherry?
Oh, it's disgusting. My wife got that once. Wow. She knows not to get that
was
one.
The last time she did that. We
like,
did that
what
too.
is that port down the drain?
It's disgusting. I'm like, give that to the kids.
The original, so good.
Oh yeah.
Man. But yeah, I'm gonna get some Pepto right after the show.
Some after the show.
But yeah, you can get ibuprofen right now, and we've seen that get cleaned out.
Oh yes.
Tylenol, it's always available.
Nobody uses
cold
it.
and cough medicine, honey, different ointments, elixirs, potions. All of that stuff you can buy right now, and it's a great idea coming into fall and winter to stock up on those things. Cold medicines, things to kind of help you sleep through that nasty cold. All of this is available right now, and I'm telling you, like if you don't get this stuff and something hits, like a bad flu season or COVID 55 or whatever we'll see the rest of our lives.
Yeah,
this stuff gets cleaned out, and not to mention sanitation supplies like alcohol wipes and alcohol and things like that. But get them now. Like they're available. You can easily get a bottle of 30 pills of ibuprofen and
you're going to need more than that for a 30-day supply.
Right.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? Like
it's
not hard to get 30-day supply of these most common meds, and then you don't have to worry about
could get
going
a
to the
bottle
store.
Of like 8,000 ibuprofen or Tylenol.
Right.
They give those to you. I think they just give them away.
Yeah.
Don't
they? Yeah, I think so. And your likelihood of getting sick, getting these things during a sickness is like 950%.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many people that I've seen with the flu just go in and get their medicine non-masked or anything. They're just
coughing on it.
Yeah, they do. Looking through all
there.
the medicine bottles. Like, get it now before nasty people hit it. And then consider those like common sicknesses and things that you typically seek advice for, like that you go to urgent care for, or that you call your medical provider friend at 10:45 to come over and look in their ear. Think about those things and what ways that you can kind of prepare yourself to do on your own. There's a lot of basic medical tools that you can get. You can get otoscopes, you can get stethoscopes, you can get
speculums,
periscopes, you can get anal scopes, you can get all kinds of stuff. And
night vision scopes.
Long range scope, short range. Any of that. Red dot, you got all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But like these devices can be used by anybody that just has basic knowledge of what they're looking at. And you know, I'm glad to help. I'm glad to help.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Like I'm available. Not for you guys, but I'm just saying, like, any medical care professional.
You gotta give them your cell phone number.
I know, I should. But, like, they're going to help you usually. But I'm telling you, there's going to be a time when you're not able to go to urgent care or you don't even want to come close to a hospital for sicknesses. And not being able to diagnose whether or not you need to seek medical attention is not good. So just prepare for that kind of thing in that scenario, because then you're buying supplies that you have that you can kind of do your own assessment on your child or your loved one and know when they need more advanced medical care.
And when you're looking at the 30-day supply, you know the stuff that you use most frequently, whether it's ibuprofen or, you know, or
omeprazole.
Yeah.
Pepsid.
Yep. Or, you know, all of those things, whatever they are, you know what you're using all the time. Make sure you have an extra 30 days all the time.
Yeah. And it's not
Just
hard.
know.
It's all available.
Yeah.
And you can typically buy like stomach pills in a big bulk at Walmart.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to Costco all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, depending on your health condition, you may want to, we've talked about medication that's prescription-wise. Typically, you can get a 90-day from your provider. And that's great. And if you get low on that 90-day, usually I think you can refill a 90-day. I don't know if it stays to the same like 7 days early or what, but you want to stay on top of that because then you always have that running supply ahead of time. You don't have to be like searching around for
90
something
days are
to
the
use.
best.
Yeah,
That's the best
So
to have
much
those.
better. 180 would be great.
Yeah,
super hard to get through.
12 months supply would be awesome.
But most medications that are non-controlled, they can be refilled in 21 days. So if you do that and you do that for 3 months or for 4 months, then you've got your 30-day supply of backup that you just kind of slowly built from your prescription. So that's just something to keep in mind with prescription medications. But they have, like I said, a lot of that stuff you can get over the counter, and you can order a lot of different medical supplies that will help you assess and take care of basic medical problems at home. Number one thing is get the Prepper's Medical Handbook.
Get it.
Because it does have all of these like common things that you deal with for just at-home sicknesses, and you have a reference guide. So
yeah, for sure.
But books and medical supplies and all that stuff, it's easy to build a medical kit for at home that's going to cover your medical needs for 30 days. That's one of the easier things in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So there you go.
I like that. And so something that sort of goes along with that is your sanitation and hygiene kits. It's nothing like going into a big store shut down and you have no toilet paper. Like, that's the worst, right? Yeah. Or feminine products, and it's that time of the month. What do? You have to have a 30-day backup of all of these things. Any emergency, any SHTF situation, hygiene is of the utmost importance, okay? So working on that 30-day supply of your basic hygiene products is so good to do. You have to kind of determine based on your previous family consumption of how much you need. Toilet paper is going to be different for every family. So I can't tell you how much you need to get, but just look at getting the basics for 30 days. So that's toilet paper, that's soap, that's feminine products, toothpaste, razors, deodorant, and then things like trash bags. Have a backup of trash bags. That is the worst to run out of trash bags, my man. It's not good, okay?
Yeah, you take it out and you come back and you're like, oh, there's no other bag?
Yeah, there's nothing we can do.
We'll just drop it down in that soup at the bottom of the garbage bin.
That nuclear waste at the bottom that's turning into something.
Through the floor.
Yeah. Hand sanitizer. Also, think about having some extra water for cleaning and washing stuff. We've talked about this a million times, but using like old laundry detergent bottles.
Such a good plan.
Filling them up with water, and you can wash and clean with that. Like those people over there in Mississippi, they can't even use it to clean. Yeah. It's not good. So you got to have something. So also detergent to clean your clothes and whatnot, shampoo, wet wipes. I mean, just the basics. Having a 30-day supply that
it's all available right now.
Oh, it's cheap stuff most of the time.
Go to the travel section.
Yeah.
You can buy like tons of small.
Exactly.
Man, nothing worse than in the morning when you open your deodorant and it's like
it's all
just
gone.
the plastic like thing. You're like,
yeah, there's nothing you can do.
Makes you mad.
Yep. So just work on getting a sanitation and a hygiene kit for your 30-day supply.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And that, like most of that stuff we just talked about, the basics of what will keep you alive and comfortable. These additional items are kind of, you might as well be thinking about them for your 30-day supply because they're super important to preppers and super important to survival. Kits. Don't forget to work on and update your bug out bag kits, your vehicle kits during this time.
Or if you don't have them, you should have them as part of your 30-day supply.
Exactly.
Right?
Because you may need to bug out at any time. You're going to leave all of that 30-day supply, which sucks. The other thing, too, is like when you're going through your inventory and you're starting to like trim through some items, like sometimes some of that stuff's perfect for like a 72-hour kit, and then you move to a longer storage item. So you're kind of cycling out all of your, that's the one thing, my bug out bag, it's hard to go through it from time to time to make sure that the food in there, because I think I've found that like fruit snacks in there are like hard as a rock.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to change these out. But this is a good time to do it, this 30-day, because this is a massive part of your plan, because if everything goes south, you've got to get out. And this bag's going to be your survival kit. So kids actually really like to get into this. My
totally.
kids love kits. Like they love like putting together supplies, looking at their flashlight, knowing what gear they have, what gear to use. So it's one of the easier ways to get them involved in your prepping and planning. The 30-day food supply thing, they ain't gonna give a crap about that.
No.
But if you throw them into like, hey, why don't you put together your bag and we'll go through it later and see what kind of stuff you got. This is a good opportunity to do that. Maybe you just want to get it all prepared for you by somebody else. BattleBox will do a great job at that. So much of our stuff has come from them.
Oh, absolutely.
That I have.
Majority of my stuff.
A lot of my my gear is like primarily BattleBox.
I just feel like as part of this 30-day supply, having those kits really just rounds everything out.
It does.
If you don't have them, I think it's harder. Your preparedness is harder. Survival is harder.
Your bugging out is going to take an act of God to get you away from your supplies. And that's not the best thing.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is making sure you have a bug out bag, making sure you have some sort of an EDC kit, and then some sort of a get home kit. And maybe that's mixed up with your EDC kit, whatever that is. Those kits right there are super important. I feel like for any 30-day plan or any 30-day supply kit, those have to be in the conversation somewhere.
They do. Yep.
You know.
And some of those other items that you're going to throw into these kits that are just your basic survival kits. You got your communication, one-way NOA radio, two-way ham radio, or two-way just walkie-talkies.
Yep.
Something to kind of communicate. Then you've got your power, like backup batteries, solar chargers, a solar generator, a regular generator, and keeping that like teed up and ready to go and have fuel for it.
Yep.
Tools, different axe, shovels, zip ties, duct tape, things like that are always helpful for everything.
Oh, yeah.
Self-defense, that depends. One, your own like skill. Two, different types of weapons and things that you can use, pepper spray, body armor, protect your family and your goods. And then mental health / entertainment.
That has to be part of it.
People like entertained without the common things you normally do, like Netflix, all that stuff. Like it works. Hopefully, it still works. But if it doesn't, you don't like. You've got to have backup stuff, like good board games. You got to have books. You got to have things maybe to listen to if devices are still working and things like that. Movies that you can watch offline if there's no power. You can use a generator and play it on your computer or something like that. Those are all huge things to keep everybody like mentally sane. So documents, keeping track of all that stuff, it's a good time to go through all of it, make sure it's in one place, then it's safe, like in a fireproof box or waterproof box. And then like different shelter and stuff that's going to go in your bug out bag or just in general. Lighting. I love the blackout box because you have everything that's readily available for you and your kids and family. Like it's all there. Go through those, make sure the batteries are charged, make sure there's extra batteries and things like that. And that's it. I mean, that's it for like there's so many supplies, and we've gone over these lists a million times. But just making sure you're not just only like the food and water are the most important. Then you really want to look at your other supplies to help survive and be comfortable and be entertained, not just sitting there staring out the window waiting for the end of the world.
Exactly. So that's it. That's what we wanted to talk about with this 30-day supply. And it's going to be a little bit different for everybody, but I think if you kind of keep to those main sections and you work on them, you're going to get there eventually. And like Cam was saying, you don't have to do it all this month. Like that's not the whole point. The point of this is to build up to this 30-day supply. Yeah. Right? The point isn't to try and get it done in September or something like that. No, this is like working on that supply for 30 days. It might take you years to get there, and that's okay. At least you're working towards it. Right? Yeah. So, I love it.
Get it done. It's a great month to do it.
Absolutely.
And usually a lot of these survival things and barrels go on sale during this month.
Yep.
So.
Yep, look for some stuff. But today's podcast is brought to you by Tacpak, the only monthly tactical subscription box with useful professional-grade stuff inside. Use our code Casual Preppers and get a free $70 machine-made part from Next Level Armament. And that's pretty rad. $70 for free. That's woo boy.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Tacpak.com. Use our code Casual Preppers. We do have a quick review we want to do before we move on. We have the Pet Evac Pack. And I'm super stoked about this, to be honest with you, because that was also something I wanted to mention in here. I must have just glossed over it, but I feel like
pets get
overlooked.
Sometimes.
The funny thing is,
kids get overlooked.
I know, yeah. The funny thing is we overlooked it because I actually had it down in here and we overlooked it. But the cool thing about something like this, Pet Evac
I know,
pack
I meant to
is
mention that too.
it's one purchase and you're pretty much good for like a bug out scenario.
That's awesome.
For your kids. So this is a big dog pet evac pack. Pretty dang cool. It comes with a backpack. It comes with 5-year shelf life food for your dog, 72-hour emergency ration. Comes with water, 2 collapsible bowls.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, a slip lead, waste disposal bags, Mylar blanket, clip-on LED light, waterproof documentation bag, pet ID card, first aid kit and brochure, a toy, wipes. I mean, tons of stuff.
That's awesome.
Basically, like, I love this because now I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah,
if we have to
dog.
bug out, my dog is set to go.
Yeah, my cat, I'm just going to let die.
Yeah, the cats, and then cats are cats.
Let
You're
them
gonna
run.
but they do have, I think they have some for cats. Well, it's actually small dog, but I think that's kind of the same thing,
Yeah.
right?
There's no bark collar in there, though, so.
Bark color, yeah. So,
I know, people get mad about that.
but I think these are great for like a bug out scenario.
Super good idea.
Have one of your kids go grab these, and
My kids would probably grab that
Yeah.
first, be like, I'm going to take care of the pet.
That's 100%
Leave
what my
their
kids are.
bag.
But I think these are cool. I think these are a great idea. And again, it's one purchase, and then you kind of forget about it.
You do.
You don't have to worry about it anymore.
I
So-
forget about it before I even get it.
I know. So you can go check these guys out. PetEvacPack, .com. And they have some really
That's
cool
pretty sweet.
products. Yeah. I just love it.
I
Because
like that it's all like put in a bag.
yes.
Just for like,
You don't have to worry about it.
it's hard to sort through all that stuff and what's important and
It's-
build another bag and
it's
use a
something that-
backpack.
yeah, it's been on my mind forever. Like, I got to do something. I had a few little things, but like now I'm like, oh, one purchase, I'm freaking done.
Yeah.
Freaking cool. So go check them out. Pet Evac Pack.
You've seen all the survival movies though? Like,
Yeah.
you're going to be bugging out and your kids will be like, oh no, robot.
I know,
You're
it's
going to
a-
go
it's a
back and
problem.
one of these and get lost.
And dead or something.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's time for the quick and dirty medical tip.
All right, so super quick on this. Lots of people come into our clinic with clogged ears, plugged. That's a nasty thing to deal with if you don't have somebody that can properly get it out. So here's some tools and some items to consider getting in your med kit to kind of help with a clogged ear. Because it freaks you out, man.
Does
when
it?
your ear's like plugged with wax. Never had it, but I've had, like water in there, and it freaks you out. Like if that's stuck in there, I can see why people go crazy. Plus,
for
it start to affect other things, infection, dizziness.
Yeah.
So over-the-counter meds and things that you probably want to consider. Bulb syringes are super important for this, and they have so many other medical uses. But because basically you can flush your ear with controlled pressure with one of those bulb syringes.
Yeah.
In the event that you have like a clogged ear, there's a lot of those little Bluetooth cameras that you can use to look in your ear. I think those are super important. Either have a tool that you can look in the ear for your family, or get one of those Bluetooth devices that you can actually look clearly into the ear. Because one, you don't want to be trying to dig something out ever, for one. But two, you don't know what the problem is, and you don't want
Just
to be
guessing.
squirting water and oil in there when there's a big old hole in your ear.
Yeah.
So, number one is get some kind of camera, and they're super cheap. You can get one from Walmart even, and they're safe because you can kind of guide and see where you're going with it. Even if you do bump around on the ear canal, it's not going to cause any major damage. But then okay, I got a big old gob of wax in there. What do I do about it? Suctioning is usually done in an ENT clinic, but you're going to have a hard time doing it. Don't do the candle bull crap. Like
Doesn't
people will
work.
say like heat and that. No, it's dangerous. And I've seen more difficult to remove impactions from that than anything. So maybe it's something that you love to do. Go ahead, but I'm telling you, it's not don't rely on something like that.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is soften the wax, and typically you just use hydrogen peroxide and water mix. Get it kind of lukewarm, use your bulb syringe and just kind of lightly, gently squirt it in there. Kind of let it settle in there for a minute, but again, make sure there's no hole. And then do this, and you do it a couple times a day, it starts to break up, and it really does soften really well. So then just like water will kind of rinse it away.
Yeah.
And if you just steadily do that over a few days, most of those impactions are going to
come
open
loose.
up or fall out. Your ear naturally pushes wax out. And so if you can break it up and get it soft, it's going to come out. The other thing is like Q-tips, they have a specific use. Don't put them like directly in your ear, but you can clean like just the hole that you can see.
Yeah.
Because that helps like clear the wax away for the other wax and skin to kind of push itself out. So Q-tips are good. Just don't be pushing them in your ear. And people love to like clean their ears out till it's like dry as a bone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another problem. Because then the wax can't slide, can't move. Then you get ear impaction. So you got to be very careful with these things. So getting a bulb syringe, getting some Q-tips to kind of clean, and then get mineral oil, because that's another thing that you can do that kind of helps prevent wax buildup. It helps the ear to stay a little bit moist. If you use like a drop of mineral oil, say you have like a lot of earwax problems and impactions, a drop of oil or a little bit of oil on a Q-tip that you just kind of rub in the opening will help prevent earwax buildup. And there are specific earwax softening drops that you can use to like break up the wax. That's if you don't want to use hydrogen peroxide and you don't like that bubbly sensation that like makes it feel like you got pop in your ear. But yeah, you can get some of those, but they're good to have. And the other thing is get an eyedropper and squirt all that fluid out and put the mineral oil in it. That's like the best way to do a drop of mineral oil is using an eyedrop container.
You just do that every so often?
Yeah, like once a week is probably going to keep it moist enough.
Moist.
And not overly moist that it's going to grow fungus or something in there. So mineral oil is a good thing to have for ears. Cotton swabs, not to put in the ear, but kind of clean the outer surface. Using a bulb syringe is probably the best way to irrigate and kind of try and rinse the wax out. So simple things.
I like it.
Don't use candles, bad. And don't use it like a freaking cannon plunger, and you just pack it up against the.
Yeah,
it's a nightmare to get out. So,
oh gosh.
Anyway,
that's good. Thanks, guys. Thank you for listening. Make sure to go check out the giveaway we got going on social media, and again, I'll try and put the link into the podcast notes as well. If I remember, but it should be on all of our link tree. It's right there at the top. Pretty easy. A bunch of different ways to enter. $350 Faraday bag. Pretty freaking sweet. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Please tell your friends, man. This is the best thing you guys can do for us is share us with your friends. Okay?
Yeah.
It's good. Are you going to eat now? I mean, oh, yeah, right at the end.
Everybody's like, I'm out.
I'm out. All right, guys. Thanks. Stay survived.